Hello guys, Iliya here and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be having a monthly outlook and setups because we had the monthly closure and we're gonna take a detailed look at what those candles indicate to us. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button in order not to miss my future educational content. And let's get into the analysis. As always, we are starting from the DXY because that's a fundamental part of our technical analysis and bias. So if you remember, we're having a look at this short opportunity here since my first volumes. Yeah, it's actually volume 10 right now, so a lot of time has passed. So we were expecting a downwards pressure after we had these two kind of dojis. I may even call them spinning tops, and we had this bearish engulf here on June. But right now, seeing how July closed, we're having a bullish engulf closing above the resistance level here, and I think that our short bias may be terminated and we may be shifting to a bullish one. So we still have room to the 78.6% Fibonacci. That's on the monthly time frame. That's a long way to go, but seeing how the candle right now started retracing, we can expect some pushes up. So that's from the monthly time frame, bullish engulf, very powerful formation on the monthly time frame. Having a look at the weekly, we're having a massive rejection from the top here. Maybe it's because we attempted to break those kinds of levels here and we failed and we closed below. So what can we expect after such formation? Downside maybe if we put a Fibonacci like this, 61.8% right here. I'm gonna look right now on the daily time frame. We'll delete this fib. So very bearish candle here, a lot of bearish pressure entering at these areas here. Actually, we came very close to tap the 99 key level, so expecting some kind of pullback on the daily. As we can see, very simple price action again. We have this ascending trend line, we have low, high, higher low, higher high. Now we're expecting a new higher low. So we have this kind of structure here that may serve as potential support level. We have the EMA kind of aligning perfectly. We have the trend line and we have the 50% key level. So for short targets or just for support targets, we're having here this area 97.55, 97.60 area. Daily time frame, we have kind of evening star formation indicating bearish pressure and a pullback happening right now. So on the 4 hourly time frame, we're having this very strong push down. Currently we are encountering this supportive region here. So I will be monitoring very closely in the beginning of the week on market open if we find support here and start pushing up. If we don't, we can have a break, kind of a retest, and then we can go back to test our desired support areas and Fibonacci regions. So not much for the DXY. Now expecting a little bit more bearish pressure before we find support, and that's on the daily time frame. Remember, 4 hourly looks very bearish, so we may just continue forming bearish structure and pushing down overall. So let's say we're bearish on the dollar and let's get into the another pairs. Our next pair is EURUSD. Here we are on the monthly time frame, and as expected, we're having a bearish engulf here, completely engulfing the previous candles here. I can say that it engulfed even 4 months of price action, but let's say 3. Very powerful formation here. So I just drew some key levels here in order for you to implement into your charts. we're having 1.50, 1.10, and 1.05, which is the a very, very strong monthly support here. And actually 1.10 is my middle range. That's a middle monthly range. So very strong levels in the market. What are we seeing right now? Some kind of pullback as we saw on the dollar. So we may expect some kind of pullback before we continue down. So let's have a look at the weekly time frame. As was with the dollar, we are having a bullish candle here, reversal formation. Let's say it's a pin bar here from the bottom. We had those supportive regions here, kind of close below what, but with all this buyer pressure, I won't say I will be going short after this weekly formation. I will just have to wait for more confirmation and evidence. So we're having here 1.11, which is a very key level. Let's mark it. So expecting some kind of a pullback as we are on the US dollar. On the US dollar, we were expecting some kind of downside. Here we're expecting upside. So let's quickly switch to the daily time frame to see what's happening. We're having a clear downtrend here. Just immediately putting my trend line. Retracement is happening right now. Kind of morning star formation, not very strong one. So having a quick look on the 4-hourly, very clear structure. I was looking at this range here that got broken, and right now we're retesting it. So from 4-hourly perspective, we may start pushing down in the beginning of the week, or we may come back to retest this lower high formation here, or even at the trend line. Let's see if we have some Fibonacci sequence here, if this is our high, low. Yep, 61.8, exactly the trend line. So yeah, bearish bias on EURUSD after we get the pullback to our desired levels. And I will be carefully monitoring the 4-hourly because we may get some shorter term short opportunities. I think that the pair will definitely reach and tap 1.10. That's my target for EU and my bias. So right now I'm gonna cover the JPY pairs I trade because they're moving all together very similar. We had the trade talks developing and Trump imposing another 10% on the tariffs for China, and this resulted in a massive strength of the Japanese yen. So we had massive flushes on the yen pairs. I hope some of you took advantage of the flush and made some good money. So we're starting with UJ. We had 2 months of pullback. We had kind of hammer formations here after this bearish engulf, and now this month started very, very strongly. As for support levels, we're having here, I believe it is 105. Let me just mark it. 105, okay. And our next area of support will be at 100, but that's on the monthly time frame, so I won't go that low. So having a look at the weekly time frame, we're having this massive bearish engulf. I do expect continuation down, but I will be waiting for some clear lower highs forming. We had broken this daily higher low, indicating a trend reversal. So right now on the 4-hourly, I will be waiting for some kind of lower high formation to get me into the trade, maybe retest of this. But after this massive flush, the pair just can continue going down. Getting an opportunity in such an impulsive market is very hard. So I will advise you just to stay away or to wait for clear market structure to firm. So monthly time frame again, EUROJPY, we had bearish engulf actually here, an immediate continuation. We broke this liquidity area here, and right now we're our next level of support will be will be 115 right here. Let me just make it okay, 115. So Monthly time frame very bearish engulf. Weekly time frame breaking below this supportive region here. Massive momentum down. Daily time frame 4 days of pure bearish price action. It just started to develop here. It's kind of the market knew what's gonna happen. We had this slow break of it, lower high formation, perfect short opportunity up here. 4 hourly time frame, very bearish price action. I would wait for a pullback. Mean value is here, maybe in and around this area. We don't know where price action will stop, but I will be monitoring closely and will be informing you in my Telegram channel. A quick look on AUSDJPY. I took a massive position on this. So monthly time frame, bearish engulf again, continuation now. Our next level of support will be down here, 7,500. We have on the left another supportive regions here. Maybe let's say 72 will be our first target, 72.0. Okay, so monthly time frame very bearish. We had the weekly time frame here forming a perfect higher low, lower high, formation. We now broke below this lower low formation, so we are continuing our downtrend. Daily time frame, massive flush down. We can have this sort of support turn to resistance if we manage to pull back and retest it. And on the 4 hourly time frame, expecting a lower high formation. So I got into the trade right here, like this. After I saw price starting to slow down, we had this kind of lower high, lower low, lower high, and I entered and managed to write this thing down. Very nice trade for me. And that's AJ. As on the OJPY pairs, I'm waiting for a pullback to form a new lower high to join the trend. And I think the last one is USDJPY, just the same. I don't think I have to cover it. Monthly time frame, again, we had this bearish candle, not an engulfing one, but right now we're breaking below. We're having this kind of supportive area here down at the wicks. So we may start supporting from the bottom right now. It would be good because if price found support right now, we will have our desired pullbacks in order to join the trend. So that's the JPY pairs I'm trading. A quick look on USDCAD. So not much movement during July after this bearish engulfing on June. So I think right now this is kind of a retracement because before we continue moving down. So we kind of had this bearish engulf here, retracement, another bearish engulf. We now may have another retracement before flushing down. So not much to interpret from the monthly time frame. That's why we're going straight to the weekly. We had this push down. We kind of broke this structure here and closed below, which indicates a shift of the trend. So I am bearish bias on USDCAD now. Looking at the weekly time frame, indecision, nice candle with similar wicks. That is pure indecision. So the market right now doesn't know where to go. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. We have wicks to the upside indicating selling pressure. I can immediately see we're responding to this support turn to resistance right now. So I think it's a very nice opportunity to sell. We had this Fibonacci quite missed the 61.8 by some pips, but we're resisting at the 50%. Let's see where the extension is taking us. 1.29, very nice round key number, which kind of gives us more confluence for the trade. So we have 2 days of wicks to the upside. Let me just check the 4 hourly, but yeah, we're still staying above this high formation here, this kind of area. So for any short opportunities, I will first wait to this area being violated, retest it back, and then I can write this thing down up to the 1.29. Sorry. So that's USDCAD. Just wait for the break of this higher low formation to indicate a short-term trend reversal. The monthly and weekly trend is down, so we may have the confidence to take shorts on this pair. USD Swiss franc monthly time frame, just looking at it, it looks very choppy and just ranging. It's not trending like this, so this movement here may just be a corrective movement after this strong push, but we're not interested in this at looking this far in the time. I'm just interested to look at the most recent price action. So we're having 2 months of push down. July closed as correction, kind of bullish candle, but not an inside candle actually. So right now we're starting to push down. I can see we broke and closed below this kind of higher low formation, maybe on the lower time frames. And right now we'll be targeting 96,500 or 96 round numbers. And on the bottom here we have 0.92 and 0.93 area. That's the monthly time frame. I'm bearish bias on USD Swiss. Having a look at the weekly time frame, yes, we're looking at this opportunity since I'm not sure at which volume it was, but we were looking at this break of the trend line, retest, continuation down, and right now we had this kind of lower high formation here, failing to break this kind of resistive region here. EMA is very nicely acting as resistance here, and right now we had this bearish engulf on the weekly time frame, and I think we're ready to flush right now. Daily time frame, double top on the daily time frame, failing to break above and create a new higher high of this one. So right now we will be finding support at the neckline, I can say. Neckline. Currently approaching it. If we manage to break below and retest, that will be a very nice opportunity. About short-term opportunities, yes, we're having this very massive flush. So if we find support here at this supportive region, I would expect some kind of a pullback in and around these areas here. And I will be watching for rejections. EMA is here as well. If we plot a fib, it may align perfectly, 50%, 61.8. If we manage to have a little movement down maybe, but let's say the pullback will begin immediately, so we're having the 50% confluence here, EMA, this kind of liquidity zone here. So short opportunities for USD Swiss. I will not be going long by any means. I'll just wait for the lower high formation to form in order to go short. Let's have a look at what's happening with the pound pairs. So here we have GBPUSD monthly time frame. We're having this massive bearish engulf here, penetrating through 1.22 monthly support level, kind of closing below. Yeah, we can say it closed below. Very strong candle, so I do expect some kind of bearish continuation, but nothing is for sure with the GBP pairs right now because of all of the things happening in England, Brexit, the new prime minister. So I'm just staying away from GBP pairs right now. But bearish monthly closure. On the weekly time frame, we have massive momentum down. As I said, we broke and closed below 1.22. It's a whole supportive region here, I would say, but we want to be kind of more precise. So weekly time frame again, very bearish close. Let's have a look at the daily. We're kind of starting to find support here. This may be our new lower low. So what am I expecting is a very simple pullback in and around this area here. Maybe if I plot a Fibonacci, 61.8%, kind of perfectly aligning. The EMA is very far away, so we're imminent for a pullback. And on the 4-hourly time frame, can we get into any long positions? We have from the bottom here bullish engulf, return back in, bullish price action. So very hard to read, but we're kind of, this can be our liquidity area right here. So if we manage to break above retest, we can ride this thing to the 61.8%, but still we have this kind of resistance region here I would be mindful of. So that's with GBPUSD. Switching immediately to Euro Pound. Monthly time frame, let me delete the analysis. We have bullish candle again. We're reaching the top here. We kind of broke all of those wicks here. We filled them. Actually, if I plot a level like this, we're closing perfectly, very slightly above, but I really think that EURGBP should see some downside after that is 3 months of bullish price action. So we should see some kind of bearishness. Everybody right now is waiting for a bearish signal in order to go short, because the market very rarely moves like this in a straight line without a single bearish candle. So this week actually closed very bullish, kind of wick to the upside. And if we switch down to the daily and 4-hourly, we kind of start to see how the trend may start shifting. So this is our last resistance. We may expect some pullback down before we continue up, and that's just by analyzing the market structure, but knowing that price action needs a larger retrace, we should start expecting some kind of bearish price action. And here on the 4-hourly, we kind of had this push down, push back up, and kind of creating a new lower high formation where we're failing to make a new higher high of this formation. So I think that we may start reversing down. So this is our area right now that may turn into consolidation before going down. So very simply waiting for a break, retest, and continuation. That's with EURGBP and GBPUSD. And the pair I always love to finish the video with is Euro New Zealand dollar. Kind of an exotic currency, but I love the way it moves. So looking at the monthly time frame, we're having here the 1.68 key level. The monthly managed to close above, and we had this massive rejection from the downside, perfectly in alignment with the EMA. So I'm bullish bias on this after this formation, and we already started pushing up from the 1.68. So that's the monthly. Switching immediately to the weekly. We're having 2 weeks of bullishness. So this may be our new higher low of this structure here. So right now we're expecting price to break the structures here and create a new higher high. That's on the weekly time frame. Switching down to the daily, we have violated this structure here. So we created a lower low. Now we're breaking the trend line, and we're staying at this resistive area here if I want to include the wick here. So we may start finding some resistance at these areas here. As you can see, the last daily candle closed with rejection to the upside. And if we switch to the 4-hourly, we're seeing here spinning tops, rejection candles, and the pullback already happening. So I am buy bias. I will just wait for a new higher low to form. If I pull a fib here on the 4-hourly, we're having the 61.8%, and we have this kind of structure here to work with. So a simple pullback, higher low formation, continuation up. About take profits, we're having again the 1.71 perfectly aligning with the 27% extension. And for next targets, we may be targeting the tops here. So that's for Euro New Zealand, and that was this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. Found something valuable from it to include in your charts. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, go on a chat with me to let me know what you think, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.